Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here. Now be sure to watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on you foxes!
Hello, good evening and welcome, as somebody much better, more famous and a lot richer than I used to say. How are we doing? It's Wednesday, it's pre-European night, and we've got the Europa League tomorrow, 8 o'clock kickoff at the King Power versus Braga. Now, I was thinking about just before, and I don't know whether Mark, when I bring him in a minute, will be able to help me, or if somebody can help me, put it on the comments. And if you are going to comment, and you're obviously watching this on Facebook, sign into StreamYard. There's no fee. There's no downloads. All it means is I can see your name when it comes up and I can give you a shout out. Otherwise, you just come up as Facebook user, which is fine. Just stick your name at the end. Like I say, I can give you a shout out then, which is always nice to do. But yeah, King Power. When we were in the Champions League, which was UEFA, we had to rename the stadium the Leicester City Stadium for advertising purposes. We're in the Europa League, which is also UEFA, and I think we're still calling it the King Power. Is it different? Tell me, I might have it wrong. Let me know. Who knows? But let's have a look. Tomorrow night's game. I like saying this. Top of the table clash against Braga. Both got exactly the same points, scores, goals, everything. Let's have a chat with my European chum, although I think he is from Leicester, and add Mark in. Good evening, Mark.
How you doing, Chris? You all right?
Yeah, I'm not so bad. I'm enjoying Fox's form at the moment.
Yes, isn't it? All good. Rosy.
It's all good. Did you notice that it's still the King Power Stadium?
No, I don't know. That's the first I've heard of it. So
yeah.
I won't be able to shed any light on that, I'm afraid, Chris.
No. I'm not. I mean, it was only literally I was looking on the lcfc.com and it had King Power Stadium, obviously, because that's where we're playing. But I did notice that when it was Champions League that it was we had to rename it, and we're still on camera and everything. So I don't get that at all. But anyway, good evening to Rob. I presume that's Rob McFarlane. How you doing, mate? Thanks for joining us. Nice to have you along. And Mark, like I say, it's a top of the table clash tomorrow. This will is the benchmark, I suppose, to how well we hope and get out of the group sort of situation. It will show us more tomorrow night.
Yeah, most definitely. The first couple of games we've played, as I've said, the last couple of shows, we should be winning them. This is going to be more of a stern test, but still a game we should be winning. Table clash, so it will go a long way to what happens with us in this league, I suppose. I'd like us to go strong tomorrow, get the game won. We're quite lucky in the way the fixtures have fallen as well, because it's all gone our way. So to get the first two games at home and then the away game, and then we're home against Braga first. I mean, by the time we might have to play them again, we're already sorted. Yeah. You know, it's worked very kindly for us. This will be a lot sterner test, but I still suspect that we should come out on top without any problems.
Yeah, I mean, they were sort of ranked 1 for the group. We were ranked 2. I was looking at the rankings earlier on UEFA, and overall, not just on this season, but overall, we were equal 70th and Braga were equal 32nd. 37th. Which makes you think, well, one bugger hell. But just on this, and I know we're only sort of so many games in, but just on this season, we're actually 41st and they're 44th. So, you know, it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah. Well, the reason they'll be so high is because they're ever present really in Europe. So that's where they get that from. We've only just started getting into Europe, haven't we?
Yes.
So, I mean, they've been regulars since 2004, I think it is. I think they were the finalists in 2010-11, but they lost against Porto. That was they went into the Champions League that year, I think. and then they come out of that into the Europa League and manage to get to the final. So they're not going to be an easy game. They've got some
No.
good there, and yeah, the rankings will be because they've just been ever present really in Europe for the last 16, 17 years, and that's where it will be.
I mean, I've just been looking at the past sort of 4 or 5 years. They always finish, well, 4 of those 6 years they finished 4th or 5th, and last year was 3rd. So they are one of the strongest teams. What I would probably sort of currently say like an Arsenal, Man United sort of team. I mean, when you look, the only ones that are getting above them are sort of the big 2 teams in Portugal, which you would expect, Benfica and Sporting Lisbon. So like you say, they're no fools, and they have been in the Europa League consistently for the last 6 years.
Yeah, I mean, it all makes for a good game. They're on a 6-game streak. They're in form. They're 3rd in the league, I think, at the minute. They're, like I said, 6 games, all wins. They're a team in form, but then so are we.
Yes.
So it all makes for a very good evening, and it's one that I'll be watching for definite. And it could be a really good game, I think. But I still think we should come out on top of it. Let's end that winning streak that they're in, and let's make they're back to where they belong.
Carry on ours. I mean, first we'll say good evening to, and again, you've not put a name on, you're not signed in, and you did watch us the other night, Facebook user from Sierra Leone. So hello to Sierra Leone. Hope you're safe and well over there. And Rob's asked a very good question here. Will we go full strength, or is Wolves more important? I mean, maybe you, and I know where you're coming from, but Brendan has come out and said he wants to get out of the group as soon as possible, which makes me think, as much as we can with the injuries we've got, and we'll come on to injuries later, I think he'll go as the strongest team he can physically put out.
Yeah, most definitely. He's already said that he wants to get out of the group as early as he can. So I think he'll go strong tomorrow. I think there'll be a couple of changes because of injuries. I think we'll see Wes back in the lineup. Probably Hamza might come in. A couple of changes there. But I still think Vardy will be up front. I think we'll see Under again starting. But I think we'll go strong. Yeah, I think we'll go strong and try and get the 3 points. And we should still have enough, as long as we don't pick any more injuries up, we should be all right for Wolves as well. But yeah, I think he'll...
What I like about Brendan at the moment, apart from the fact that he's obviously winning a lot of games for us, but what I like about him is he's actually going out and starting with a strong team, getting us in front, and then making substitutions. The other night was Monday night was the example when he brought Wes on for Wes Morgan on for Jamie Vardy because we were winning, and he put Wes at the back to shore things up. And of course, that as well means he can rest players, but he's only doing that as and when better that I think than starting with the lineup and then trying to catch up if we go behind.
Yeah, much better to get the game sewn up and then rest some players if we can. I like that about him. You're quite right. He always goes strong. We've had managers in the past what we think we're going to win the game, and so we start off a little bit and then we're chasing the game. So yeah, it is good to see that we start strong, get the game wrapped up, and then we can bring people on like we did on Sunday and give other people a rest. So yeah, I do like that about him.
You weren't referring to a certain Mr. Puel, were you? Comment. Another couple of good evenings. Andy Medhurst, hello. Don't know much about Braga, so who do they compare with in the Premier League? I think you probably come in late. We did sort of say an Arsenal or a Chelsea at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know how well they're doing in the Premier League. I think they relegation, but their league's easier than our league. That's the way it is. There's a few teams in Portuguese league that are strong. So you've got Porto, Sporting Lisbon, so that they'll always be in the top half of that league because the rest of the league isn't as strong as the Premier League. I mean, from 1 to 2 league, they're all pretty strong. And would Braga compete? I don't know. I really don't know. I'd sit them mid-table in the Premiership, probably lower half. But the game we should be winning. But they are strong. We can't take one lightly. been quite blasé the last couple of weeks, saying we should do this, should do that. I'm a bit more reluctant this week, but I do think we will win. But I don't think it's a foregone conclusion.
No. And when I was saying a sort of Chelsea Arsenal, I was thinking in sort of the team that would possibly come third or around there rather than a sort of strength wise, you know. Larry Woodward adds here in response to an earlier comment, every game is equally important, to be honest. So, a lovely dog as well there, Larry. And yes, it is, you know, you're as good as, well, you know, the next game should be the most important game, shouldn't it?
And that's the good thing about Brendan. He is always about the next game. He doesn't look too far ahead. He doesn't take people, you know, doesn't take the league lightly. We're in a very good position, and a lot of it's down to Brendan. And the fact that he just game by game is the way we do it. He will go strong tomorrow. He'll want the 3 points. He'll want us top of that league, so we're sitting pretty there. And he'll go strong on against Wolves. We've got it all in our own hands at the minute, and that's down to the way he's managing the team. So we don't take anything lightly at all. I've took the last couple of games. I've said we should be winning 3 or 4-0 both games, but this game is a bit of a stern test. But the glory is we're at home first, which I think is. I know we're at home. We haven't got any fans, but the fact that they're having to travel to us, we should win this game. We should put the league to rest after tomorrow, I should think.
Yeah. What I was going to say, we've got. As I always say, every game is equally important. Vardy and Barnes destroyed Leeds in the first half. They did actually look a very good combination. I mean, I've given up. And I love Brendan, and I don't want Brendan to leave. I will criticise a manager as much as anybody if they have a bad game, if they put a bad team out, or we get stuffed 9-0 by Southampton or whatever. They're there to be criticised. But, you know, the last couple of games, I've looked at the squad and thought, what, you know, WTF is going on? Arsenal we beat, Leeds we beat. He knows he knows more than I do. He knows what he's doing, doesn't he? And Vardy and Barnes look good together.
They do, and it all bodes well for the future. With the players we've got coming back, I think I was listening in to you and Brad a couple of nights ago, I think it was, saying about people come back from injury. What's the team going to look like? Will they get in? It's all good news. It's all good news. So some of the players we've got to come back. But yeah, it's quite right. Barnes did look good. Barnes is looking the business at the minute. I do like Barnes at the minute. And Pratt had a fantastic first half. I was a bit miffed when he took him off, actually, on Monday. I was a bit miffed by that, but it all worked out. We won 4-1, so you can't really grumble.
I suppose it's about opinions. I mean, I was watching Sky and they were praising Pratt, saying how good he was. I thought he had a very, very good first half. Somebody went on and said, thank God he was taken off. He was having a rubbish game. So we all watched the same game with about 55 different opinions, you know. But aren't we getting into a position now where we're saying Pratt or Maddison to start all the time?
No, I prefer Maddison, if I'm honest. When he's come on the last few games, he has looked the part. I do prefer Maddison in that role. But then there's room for Maddison and
I was going to say that. I was going to be my next question. Can they play together?
Yeah, they can. I think we've had a few games where they've been both on the pitch. I think Maddison for me is our best player behind Vardy. Vardy's obviously the business, and Maddison's the next best for me in the team. He makes things happen, and when he's got more ability to find that killer pass and to create chances for us. He gets fouled. Pratt, he's a workhorse, but he's a different type of player. They've both got their own merits, to be honest. But for me personally, I would put Maddison in over Pratt, definitely. Yeah,
I mean, and I'm going to go back to Barnes here because I mean he has over the years taken some criticism for his positioning and ability to shoot and actually get the ball in the net and what have you. But I thought when Vardy got that goal where he didn't get there, he set the goal up for Barnes. You know, I watched it and Barnes, he just didn't stand back. And I think probably Inacho maybe would have done if he'd been on the pitch. And I know you're not Inacho's biggest fan, but what I liked about Barnes was the fact that he was reading the game. And he could see that, you know, if he ran into that box, there might be that opportunity there for him to be on the end of it. And he seems to be developing, you know, and he is still young, but, you know, I think he is getting better.
And you've hit the nail on the head there. That's what he's doing better now, recently, is he's reading the game better.
Yeah.
Because like you say, he's getting into the positions what he wasn't getting in before, which made him look a bit sloppy before. Now he's using his head a little bit more. He's getting into better positions. He's reading the game better, and that will be down to Brendan, by the way. That will be down to because Brendan is very good coach, and he would have worked with Barnes, and that's where that's come from. But yeah, when Barnes gets hold of the ball, it's exciting.
Yeah.
What frustrates me with Leicester sometimes is they pass the ball around and they get into a good position, and then they pass it back again. But when it's passed to Barnes, he will turn on a sixpence and off he goes. Straight away, first thought is, I'm going to run at these defenders. And he's exciting to watch, and he makes things happen for us.
Yeah. I mean, a number of times in the last few games, and obviously since we've been doing these videos, I tend to sort of get more involved in watching things, more than, intensely. But the number of times we end up with a corner, and ball ends up back at Schmeichel, and I'm like, I remember, and again, correct me, if I'm wrong. This is only my opinion, but in the season of the Great Escape, we always seem to be, we never got stuffed. We always played reasonably well, but we got up to that sort of just outside the box, and we would pass it across. It was almost like early doors. Nobody wanted to have a shot. And I must admit, and I mean, we all say now we regret selling him Kramaric. At least when he used to come on, he'd have a shot. It's like I say, it gets frustrating when we win positions and we do. And I know you're holding on to possession, but it does sometimes, more often than not, seem to end up back with Schmeichel.
It does, really does. There's a amount of times I've sat watching a game and tearing my hair. Pass it forward, for goodness sake.
Yes.
He'll get Barnes. He will go forward with it. I don't know what Brendan, if Brendan's telling them to do what they're doing, but lately it always seems to get into a good position and back again, and that's why we need the likes of Maddison on the field to pick that out for Vardy's runs, and that's why I would prefer him over Pratt. Coming back to that, because he can pick that pass, and with Barnes on the pitch, he will run forward. But yes, the amount of times we get into the final third and then the stand on the ball and pass it back is so frustrating to watch, but it's still happening. But we can't grumble at the minute because we're picking up games. If we weren't winning and we weren't doing what we're doing at the minute, I think it would become a big issue with fans that is happening. Because we're winning, it's not really a thing at the moment, but we start losing a few, they're still doing that, and it might be.
And I know Brendan has stated he likes us to play from the back. Rather than just hoof the ball forward. But sometimes I've got to be totally honest with you. I should be sat in a nappy because I'm shitting myself. The amount, we're playing it across the back. Leeds did that the other day, got caught out, and we've been lucky so far. But I'm not a fan of that playing out from the back.
Not at all. I mean, Schmeichel as well. He can be a bit lapsy daisy when it's played into his feet. His distribution with his hands is really good. When he looks up, he lobs the ball out, but when it's played back and we're being pressed and he's got the ball at his feet, he always tries to take a touch to either side. He's going to come a cropper one of these days, because there's times where he's gone to oof it out and it's gone straight to the opposition player. Who was it? It was a few games ago. He done the same thing and we got caught out and they scored. I can't remember who it was. Might have been
that was Arsenal in the cup, I think, wasn't it? Yeah. Right, a few comments here just to catch up on. Rob, will Luke Thomas be a regular now he's been blooded and looked comfortable? I don't know. Not for me. Not yet. I think he's good coming on. I mean, I think he started against Leeds, didn't he? Obviously, we're in that position at the moment. I think once you've got the likes of Pierre and Castagna back, I think he's behind Justin. But he did, he was caught out a couple of times by Leeds when they came forward. So for me, not a starter. I don't know about you, Mark.
Exactly the same. Not a starter for me. He's got bags of potential, but if you watch closely, I watched the new people quite closely, and he has got. He was caught out a few times, like you say, at Leeds, and he was scurrying back. He looks like very much in the Chilwell mould, to be honest. Not the very best of defenders, but good going forward. He looks like he's got a good left foot. He is one for the future. And he is somebody who can call on, but it won't be a starter when everybody's back fully fit.
Exactly. And I think this is the trouble sometimes. We are a young team. Even Ben Chilwell was technically still, you still class him as young. And sometimes Harvey Barnes, etc. We get on these players, we find a fault, and we dive into them before we've given them a chance to develop.
Yeah, most definitely. And he's Brendan knows what he's doing with him. He's giving him game time because we're in the position where we can give him game time. I think once you see the regulars back fully fit, you'll see less and less of it. But he's certainly one for the future, most definitely.
Yeah. A comment here from, if it will work, Andy Medhurst, should Under get a start tomorrow? For me, definitely.
100%. Yeah. He's long, but he's come on. He looks at business. He definitely should get a start for me. I think he will start, and it's looking like a good little partnership he's got going with Vardy. This will be on each other's way.
Just doesn't it? Well, he set him twice, and people have said, like, is this the new Mahrez Vardy partnership? I don't think I'd go quite that far just yet, but he's got a good pass on him, and he could have easily the other night. I think it was the first goal we set up for Vardy when he could have easily had a go himself and got on the, but he could see Vardy was in the position.
Yeah, I mean, he looks the business. I mean, he's going to take him a while to settle in. He's another one with the ball at his feet, and he wants to attack. He wants to take it round. I mean, when he hit the post, the last game, that was a bit of that was where he bent it round and it hit the top corner. He deserved a goal. But yeah, I think he'll start most definitely. For me, I want him in.
Andy Medhurst again should spelt wrong, but should indeed he walk straight back into the team when he's fit. I mean, that's a very good one because you can't fault this. You look at teams and you say, right, who should be the first name on the score, on the team sheet, etc., and all that, and probably it's going to be sort of Vardy, Michael. But to me, and I know how good he is, but for me, when the team's playing as well as we are, there's no reason, I don't think, to bring him in. And I don't necessarily think Brendan will, because like with James Maddison, he's slowly blooded him in, other than when we've needed him, because obviously, indeed, he's been out quite a while. He's not going to, and the same with Pierre, they're not going to come back match fit. No,
not at all. For me, he gets in the starting lineup when he's fit, for definite. I think he's a far better player than Mendy is. Mendy's he's a little workhorse. Don't get me wrong. He'll get his foot in and he'll work hard, but he hasn't got the pass that he don't look as comfortable all at his feet as what indeed he does. So for me, when he's back and he's fully fit, he goes in for me, definitely.
We will agree to disagree on that one. I think, because like I said, I think for me, and as I say, it's all about opinions, and it's only my opinion. But I think if we were losing, I think it would be week in, week out, be a different matter. But like we say, Brendan's the man. Just to go off slightly off key here, and then we will come back onto Braga in a second. And I don't know if this is the thing. Rob again, Manure. Had Man United lost? Have they lost tonight? So Brendan could be on the wanted list. I don't know. Let me. Do you know the score, Mark?
I didn't know they were playing tonight.
Yeah, they're in the Champions League, unfortunately, at our expense. I'm just trying to see if I can pick it up here, but Man United have lost 2-1 to Istanbul. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah. So I think, no,
he won't be on there. He won't be on there.
No, I don't think. Yeah. Larry Woodward said here, hopefully they go for Posh. I think he is the number one choice. Sky love him. Yeah, it was like a Poch loving the other night. I think they will go to for Poch, and I don't think Brendan would want to go. I think whilst no job is secure, I think if he walks out on Leicester so soon, he'll get a reputation after the way he left Celtic, and I think Brendan will eventually move on. I really do, but I think he will stay with us for a few years and build his reputation back up again. As if he does well with us, he could possibly walk into a bigger job.
Yeah, I don't think he'll want to. I mean, if he was offered the Man United job, would he take it? I don't reckon he would, because, like you say, he's doing good for Leicester. His reputation was tarnished. If he was to take the Man United job and not do anything with them, then he's back to where he started. He's got everything he needs here. We've got fans that love him. He's doing the business, so I don't reckon he'll be going anywhere soon. I think Pochettino will definitely go in at Man United, and I think that will be fairly soon. I think you'll see that this year.
Yeah. And that's that one we've already had. Larry again here makes a very good point when it comes up. It's been a bit slow tonight, guys, so I'm sorry. Under gives Brendan an alternative as he looks to get behind. Barnes, Vardy and Under have the potential to be devastating on the counter. I think we saw that. I think we've become very good at soaking up pressure.
Yeah,
and after. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the same for me. They do look explosive. That's why I'd have both of them in the team. When they get the ball, they do turn and attack, and that's what Vardy's really loving, the fact that them two are on the game and slipping him in every now. So yeah, definitely they look to make the team look stronger when Under and Barnes are both on it.
But we had, because I remember when Leeds came out in that second half a different team, but as did Athens. It was like, we'd learned nothing from Athens because exactly the same happened. We used to be the team that used to let in goals just before half time. Now we're doing it just after half time. But both Leeds and Athens came at us for like a mad 15-20 minutes after they scored, and I was a little bit worried to start with, but looking at it, we were actually, like I say, soaking up the pressure, almost like, two heavyweight boxers slogging it out in the ring, and we're letting them tire themselves out. And then, like the old days, we're hitting them on the break.
Well, if you look at the Leeds game, that definitely happened. And what he did, which I was pleased with, is that he brought on some attacking players. Rather than bringing on Wes straight away and this, that, and the other, he brought some firepower on. And I think that upset the rhythm of Leeds. So that was a good thing. And in Athens, it was a little bit different. And we were soaking up pressure for the majority of that second half. And when it was needless to do so. We had a strong first half that we should have been on the front foot for the first 15 minutes of the second half, put the game to bed, and then sit back and let bring some of the players on. But we didn't do that, and it was a bit nerve-wracking, the Athens game. But Leeds, when he brought on the substitutes, what he did, that changed the flow of things, because they were on us, and it looked like they were good game. Once we brought the attacking substitutes on, it totally changed again, and we was able to see the job out.
Yeah. Andy again just mentioned here. Yeah, I agree with you there, Andy. Looking forward to Ricardo and Under on the right hand flank. Right hand flank. I think that'll be explosive. But going back to tomorrow night's game, we've been saying, it is a top of the table clash. Something's got to give. There is nothing, you couldn't get a cigarette paper between us, same number of games, same wins, same goals for, same goals against. Win tomorrow, and whilst it's not guaranteed, you've got to say whoever wins it tomorrow, if one of us does win it and it's not a draw, you're as good as through.
Yeah, 100%. You've got one foot in the round of 32. I had to look at the statistics earlier, and it's quite uncanny of how close we are on the first two games, and it comes down to chances created as well. I think the only thing that we were ahead of corners, but everything else, it was so close. So yeah, but the good thing is we've got them at home. They're having to travel to. A little tweet earlier from Braga. They were on the plane, landing in England, so they're here, they're ready. So it'll be a good game. It'll be a good game, and I'm not going to be as blasé this week and say that it's going to be because I think it will be a bit close. But 100%, we need to go out, win the game, get top of the league, and then we've got one foot in the round of 32. Happy days. Yeah,
I agree totally with you. And I think the fact that we have no fans at the moment, I think sometimes. When for us, like when we're playing at Athens, although they're not quite, Turkish teams, but the fans in Greece are quite ferocious, and I think the fact that they didn't have fans, it helped us. I think that
it definitely helped us, because can you imagine that second half when they was coming on to us? If they had fans there, it would have been a lot more daunting place to be, and we probably might not come away with the result that we got. It might have ended up a draw or even a loss, the way that they was coming on strong. So if they had 70,000 fans in there in that Athens stadium on our backs, then it might have been a different proposition. So yeah, it definitely helped us last game. It's weird without the fans. It's weird to predict. I think that's why Premier League is so up and
I can't listen to a match. I'm not sleeping at night now, which is another story. So I actually rewatched the Leeds game at something like 1 o'clock in the morning. But when they replay the whole game, they just take out the commentary bit, the before, after, and half time chats. And I was watching it, but they repeat the one with no sound. And all I could hear was Casper kicking his boots and Brendan clapping, and I can't do it at all. But surely, it must affect us, because when you come to think the noise we made without clappers and the noise we made with them, the fact, the players must be missing us as well.
Yeah, it is very strange. I did watch that match without the sound, to be fair. And it was very weird for the first 5 or 10 minutes. And you think, wow, this is strange, but you get used to it. But yeah, it's at home.
I'd sooner watch it with no sound than not watch at all. Somebody again posted into the group, he was on Virgin. He goes, how the hell do you get sound on Virgin? But he couldn't work that out. But no, it's also weird when they do add I think they get the cheering off and the crowd noise off FIFA, off EA on FIFA EA Sports, and it's weird because you can hear this Leicester chant. I'm sure I could hear "We Are the Leicester Boys" the other day. It's totally weird. But we've got a manager in Braga. We've got a manager that knows the English game. He's managed Sheffield Wednesday and Swansea, going back sort of 15 to 17 and 17 to 18. But he will have an idea, about us probably.
Yeah, Carlos Carvajal. Yeah, he's been in England before, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He didn't do much when he was over here, so there's nothing too much to worry about.
No. In fairness, I left off what he actually achieved because I don't think he achieved much. But we've still got the injuries. It looks, Brendan was saying today, like Evans is unlikely to start. He could be back for Wolves, and obviously we've still got Piera, Ndidi, Soyuncu, and Castagna out. Castagna's got a hamstring. What the others have got, abductors and AKL. I mean, I've not heard of half of these things that they're out with. How do you think he'll play it tomorrow? Same starting lineup as Leeds?
No, I think Wes will start, and I think Hamza will start as well. But from what he did from the last game, he deserves to start. When he was last in Europe, he deserves to start. I don't know whether it'll be a 5 or a 4 tomorrow. I'm not sure. I would go 4 personally. Probably put 2 in front in Hamza and Mendy, and that's the way I would play it. And then have 3 across. And with Vardy up front, but yeah, you
wouldn't go for wing backs tomorrow then.
For me, no. I'm not. I quite like the fact that we play 3 and a wing back, because once everybody's fit, I think that's the formation that we need to adopt, and we seem to be. But like you say, with the injuries tomorrow, it could go either way. It could be that, or it could be a back 4. Personally, I think it will be a back 4 with Justin and Wes and Fofana and Fuchs. I think that'll be the back 4, and I think he'll put Chowdhury and Mendy in front of them.
My only worry with that, and I used to be, when my kids were growing up, I used to do a bit. I got up to very basic level of coaching and used to coach them. I was a lover of 4-4-2. You couldn't get me away from 4-4-2. But the problem with that, and I see where you're coming from, is for me, Fuchs has been amazing. Wes has been amazing. When they've been called on, these older players have, they've come on and done the business for us. But Fuchs, to me, and you can say by all means disagree with me, in a back 3, he's good, but he hasn't got the, I don't think as on that left back position to get forward, he's not got the speed to do that now and can get caught out.
I do agree with that. But it might be Luke that plays there. We don't know. Either way, I'd be happy with. I'd be happy with a back 4 with two centre with 2 defensive mids, and I'd be happy with the back 5. It depends what knocks people have got and what he's got to his disposal, I suppose. I think personally it'll be a 4-2-3-1, but I'd be more than happy with the 5 with Mendy there and like he did against Leeds. But I do think Wes will start, and I do think Chowdhury will start as well.
Right. Just to say, that it's just come up on my Facebook, the gentleman from Sierra Leone is Ivan. So good evening, Ivan. Thanks for joining us all the way from Sierra Leone. Well, Ivan, what's your score prediction? We've got a few still watching. Well done for sticking with us. Let us know your score predictions. I'm going to ask Mark. Saying he's a bit more reserved, and we're not going to go out. You're not going to be as as mad as he was with his predictions for the first 2 games. But give us a prediction, Mark.
2-1. I'll go 2-1.
Yeah, I must admit, yeah, same with me. I always think there's a mistake in the back, and and we are up against a Braga who will probably punish us more than say Zora did if we make a mistake at the back. But yeah, I think it'd be 2-1. But let's hope we're right.
They've got a good front line there. They have got a good attacking force, but they're not much cop at the back. So what we've got in attack, we should be able to get a couple of goals. But they have got a good pairing. Paulino, he looks the business. So I think they will get a goal. I think it might go similar to the Athens match. We'll be a couple up. We'll start strong, and then we'll be clinging on towards the end. But 2-1, I'll go for.
Yeah, I noticed in their league they've actually played 6 games, which is 1 less than us. They've scored 9, but let in 5. So for every 1 they get, every 2 they get, they let 1 in. Couple of scores coming up here. Possibly this is Ivan again. 2-1 to Leicester. Andy thinks Schmeichel will keep a clean sheet, and it will be 2-0. Be happy with a draw? I don't know. I think I'd be disappointed with a draw.
100%. I'll be very disappointed with the draw.
But then again, if we're 2-0, if we're 2-1 down or something with 10 minutes to go, and we get a 2-2 draw, I'll be on here tomorrow night going, I was happy with the draw.
I won't be happy with a draw at all. I think this is our opportunity to take over the league, to put our foot in the last 32, get the job done, and I think we will. I think we'll come out tomorrow with 3 points.
Well, let's fingers crossed and hope that we're all right, and we've got the 3 points at the end of the day. Mark, thanks very much for joining me.
No problem.
You're gonna have a couple of weeks off now because we've got a 2-week break, I think, before we're back. And the game after that is Braga away, so which makes, like you say, getting a win tomorrow, in a way, even more important. So. Welcome to come on any of the shows in the meantime, but if not, take care of yourself, stay safe, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Will do, Chris. Cheers.
All the best, Mark. Take care. Bye. Cheers now. And thank you to you guys. Thanks for joining us and watching. 2-1, 2-0 draw. I know, like I say, if we are actually sort of 2-1, 1-0 down with 10 minutes to go, I'll probably be happy with the draw. But at the moment, like Mark said, a win. Let's get top of that group. We've got, if we can get that win, we both said, and I think we'll be right, we've got 1 foot in the round of 32. Kick off tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Join me and Brad tomorrow night on Thursday night after the match. About 30 minutes after the match finishes, we'll be here with the post-match show. Be another late one, so get your carpet slippers and cocoa out and join us half an hour after kickoff for the post-match. And hopefully we'll be celebrating a win. And Friday, 7:30, the Opposition View show. And then obviously Sunday post-match with Brad again. 3 times this week, Dale Twigger's wife will be very, very happy. But guys, fingers crossed. Enjoy the match tomorrow, wherever you're watching it from. Remember though, whatever you do, please, please, please stay safe. Good night, guys.
Hey guys, Ian Hume here, X-Fox in the Box. Watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV and follow them on social media for all the up-to-date Leicester City news and information. Cheers.
Shut up and sit down.